Hi everyone, Jennifer Blevins-Smith with Integral Clinic Solutions, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Navigating the Business of Medicine. Today I want to talk about accepting Medicaid insurance in your practice. A lot of people will ask me, is it worth taking Medicaid in my practice? Or what do you think about me taking Medicaid in my practice? And honestly, I just present the facts to them and let them decide. It's not my practice, it's not my decision. And I feel like just giving them the right information is going to help them make the best decision for their practice, their business, and everything that goes with it. So I did a little bit of research because I was just curious kind of where we're at right now when it comes to Medicaid and Medicare. There's a lot of this in the news right now. And I was just like, things that make you go, I just wanted to do a little bit of research. And some things that you need to keep in mind about Medicaid and accepting Medicaid is your type of specialty, right? And your geographic area where you are. Do you have a lot of commercial patients in your area? Are you going to probably be seeing more Medicare, Medicaid in order to have a practice? Are you able to compensate the difference of what Medicaid pays you with how many commercial patients you see? Stuff like that. So about on average across the nation, this is what I wanted to know. Medicare is 30% higher in their reimbursement than Medicaid. So Medicaid pays about on average 30% less than the average Medicare reimbursement. And this is just Medicare Part B, no Med Advantage plans, no supplement plans. This is just if you were to bill a patient for a 99213 for Medicare, and then bill a Medicaid patient for the same service, 99213, you will get reimbursed 30% less than what Medicare pays. And that is significant. That is huge. Obviously, it's going to be different depending on where you live. And every Medicaid is regulated and money is given, fee schedules associated and established based on your state. So what happens is the federal government has so much money that they have for the Medicaid program. They allocate so much to the different states, and then the state is required to handle that in a responsible way. And so they set their fee schedules and everything like that. So on average, in general, this is just an average, 30% less than what Medicare reimburses. So if you were to get paid $100 for a 99213 from just straight Medicare Part B, then you're only going to get $70 for a Medicaid patient for a 99213. And that is very low compared to how high the costs have gone up in healthcare over the last few years. So a lot of people are like, ooh, I don't know if I'd be able to hit my overheads. I don't know if I'd be able to do this or that. And that's something that definitely needs to be calculated, needs to be seriously considered and thought about. 30%. There are more enrollees in Medicaid right now, currently across the nation, than in Medicare. So we know that the baby boomers, who are the majority of Medicare beneficiaries, because they're 65 and older, are a large population, right? We hear about it all the time. How are we going to manage Medicare and all the baby boomers and et cetera? But honestly, it looks like across the nation as a whole, there's more people enrolled in a Medicaid program than the baby boomers in the Medicare program. And there are people on Medicare that are disabled that are less than 65 years old. So, of course, they're incorporated into that Medicare as well. And then you're going to have the people that have both Medicare and Medicaid, the Medi plans, right? Where they have Medicare as primary and Medicaid as secondary. They didn't mention anything about that when I read this, but I'm guessing that there's probably a fair amount of those people that overlap on that Venn diagram, right? So you have the Medicaid here, the Medicare here, and then the in-between right here, you have the Medi plan. But I didn't see anything about that. But that is huge. And that's something to take into consideration, because if you aren't planning on, or you're not sure if you want to take a Medicaid insurance in your practice, that's a lot of people that you're excluding, right? With that data that I just gave. And of course, again, depending on your specialty, your location, things like that, it's going to be very specific to you. But this is information that you should know. And I know that there are ways to try to increase or enhance your reimbursement from Medicare and Medicaid. You can do the incentive programs, the macro MIPS. You can become an FQHC or an RHC, where you have to follow a lot of guidelines to become certified with those, but then you get a little bit more reimbursement. There's a lot of qualifications for it. So there's some things you could do depending on your practice, your business strategy, your structure, your intentions with growth. But these are things that when you're opening a practice, or you're hoping to open a practice, or maybe you have a practice open right now and you're not sure if you want to continue taking Medicaid or Medicare, you need to be aware of in order to make the best decision for you. So, not sure if you knew, but I released a new video on the 2025 CMS final rule for Medicare, and Medicare is decreasing their reimbursement by 93 cents of per conversion factor. So it's dropped, the reimbursement will drop basically for providers for basic Medicare patients in 2025. And then you have the Medicaid reimbursement, which is 30% on average less than Medicare. So if you are going to accept these populations, you just need to make sure that you know how to combat maybe the loss in revenue to help cover your overheads appropriately and try to stay in the black instead of being in the red for seeing these patients. Now, I don't care either way. Honestly, everybody has a different situation, but these are things that you need to go, okay, if I see this many patients in a day with this insurance, what's the most money I'm going to bring in that day? And what are my overheads going to be on average for that day? And really drilling down and doing smart budgeting, smart accounting, getting subject matter experts like an accountant or a bookkeeper in there to help you figure this out and decide what's going to be best for you, for your patients, your heart. Like, some people are like, I don't care. I'm here to take care of people. I'm not here for the money. So as long as I can meet my overheads and have an income so I can make a living to keep doing this, then I will. And that's wonderful. And then there's other people that say, no, even though I love treating patients, I still am here. It's a business and I need to make money, and they decide to go a different direction. And that's okay too. There's no right or wrong reason. I just want to put this information out there so you can make the best decision for yourself. And of course, there's a lot more data that you should be looking into than just watching this video. Please do not make your decision whether you're going to accept Medicaid and or Medicare patients based off of this video. This is just to bring some awareness so you can start digging and getting the information a little bit more so that you can make an informed decision for you. If you have any questions or comments, I'm happy to try to answer them for you, but this is more of like an awareness video. Again, I don't want to give my opinions. I'm not here to give my opinion. I honestly don't have an opinion because everybody's situation is different, and I would need to consider a lot of different factors before I could even form an opinion if I did. But it's here to be like, oh, things that make you go, I didn't realize that we had such a high population on Medicaid. I didn't realize they reimburse so significantly less. Like, I knew Medicaid was the bottom of reimbursement, but I didn't realize it was 30% on average. And it could have been different. This was data taken from 2023, so it could be very different now, but it gives you a good idea of kind of where to start your thinking. But if you have any questions or comments, please leave that in the comments below. Smash the thumbs up button if today's video was helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please share this with your colleagues whom you feel would benefit from the information. Thank you so much for the support, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.